Right, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be together. We're here for our last slot of our first day at Xylon Digital. I'm here with Dario Corbetta, who's the director of Acimall. You already met him at the beginning of the day. So we're here to do a first analysis of our first day. So how are we doing, Director? Are we happy? We're looking forward to having another even more satisfactory day. Well, actually today I've been quite busy, so I haven't had an opportunity to talk with the companies, the manufacturers, to see. They're the ones who give us the real feedback. My impression is that in the hallways here there are a lot of people, so things seem to be going well. We will have to wait for the end of this event. And of course you want to see numbers, right? Yes, sure. So we're going to have additional live streaming broadcasts in the next few days. Actually, I seem to see a bigger effort than in the past in the beauty and accuracy of the booths. It's a beautiful fact, isn't it? Yes. It's two halls, and you're right, the booths are nice, they're beautiful. So it means that the companies have been feeling the event. They worked hard. They created synergies as well, and so it's common. It's a common asset. So you know, it's organized by the association. The association is a non-profit organization where all these companies adhere to. So you mentioned the two halls. So it was a strong choice, somehow hazardous choice, because as you were telling us a few days ago, you were saying maybe we could have even had a piece of a third hall, but instead we decided to have a compact, strong, cohesive thing. So exhibitors do feel stronger together. Well, no, maybe. Certainly we could have occupied a piece of another hall, at least, because there were quite a few companies on the waiting list, like 30 companies on the waiting list, so it's quite a bit large number. But having a half-empty hall is not nice. So the exhibitors who had adhered right at the very beginning did have a choice. I mean, for sure there's going to be another exhibition in 2024 again, so we'll see. A question. Somebody decided not to be here, like Group Poma from the BS Group, Chefra, decided not to be here. We still love them, but it's not a problem. But can we add something about that decision? Can we wish openly that will be back soon? Certainly, certainly. The fairground belongs to everybody, and in 2024, I mean, we're still under the aftermath of the pandemic, so a lot of companies did have issues and problems, and many companies are yet not back to pre-pandemic levels, so they need to make it through. But Xylexpo is a common asset belonging to all of us, so we have to make it valuable and make it a promotional tool for our industry. And by the way, we're in Italy, the largest market in the world, that is 1 billion euro in value, so 1,000 million machines sold in 2021, so it's a lot, huge. The fair here is international, but even though it was only for the Italian market, it would still have reason to exist. I would also like to add that in terms of individual, no matter how big a company can be, it cannot have the same strength as 300 or 400 smaller companies put together, because what's good for you may be good for me, or maybe we can, it's synergies that are created here, and the difference between the small shop next door and the large shopping mall. So it does make sense to strengthen the message again. We're still in war economy, in inverted commas, because the industry is doing well. But let's not forget, Xylexpo is not the very first in our industry, but we've seen fairs in Germany, in Poland, and the results were much lower than in the past in terms of official data. The official data from Nuremberg talk about 28,500 visitors versus 110,000 in the past. So, it's still a peculiar season of fair for fairgrounds. We're still in the post-pandemic era, and companies still go through a period of uncertainty despite the success of 2021 and partly 2022. But we're in a war economy. There's a war here in the middle of Europe. There's a friend here who's come to see us from Ukraine. A friend from Ukraine, actually, that came here to visit us, so we're very happy. Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, they accounted for a large number of visitors, Chinese as well. So they won't come this year because of emotional reasons. But the we are going through a war. We have to use the right word for it. And how does this situation, like China closed, Russia closed, Belarus closed, how does this situation impact on the market? Well, we're talking about the economic and financial situation of 2021 and 2022, at least the first half of 2022. Overall positive, but with some clouds looming on the horizon in terms of raw materials, components. How does Acimall see the situation? Well, 2021 was an extraordinary year because of the increase in the production of tool machines, production of machines, so an increase by 36%, in line with other sectors like mechanical industry. There were some financial incentives released by the national government as part of the Industry 4.0 program, including in the sector of technology. With regard to markets, Eastern markets, Ukraine, what could happen in the future? Well, worst scenario, hopefully not. We're going to lose these three markets, which account for approximately 5% of our exports. Exports account for 70% of production, so it's a marginal damage so far, and it's not that all markets are blocked. But only certain markets, but not all of our machines are banned from export to Russia. So far the situation can be made up, but actually I think that 2022 is going to go as well as 2021, because in the last months, companies have increased their portfolios of purchase orders considerably. So in terms of production, manufacturing, turnover, things in 2022 are going to go as well as 2021. For sure, starting from the second quarter of the year, there were some problems in those countries, and regardless of the war situation, it's also physiologic. I mean, you can, I mean, 36, 37% increase. You cannot have a 40% increase every year. So it's partly physiological. That's the last aspect that we should touch upon. I mean, 60 years of honored career. We have moved from the typical alternance, Italian May, Italian, German May. We're now in October. So it's an apical choice, yes, especially although weather-wise does not make much of a difference. It's quite hot, the same as in May, but apart from jokes, yeah, our choice is partly due that we had to come out of the COVID-19 situation, and then the other fair that is going on at the same time, which is metalworking. Again, we're creating synergy across visitors, because data for our visitors that we've recorded today, there's about 70% of them that are going to see the other exhibition as well. The same, 60% of BMO visitors are going to come and see our fair. So this does create the synergy. So BMU, BIMU, BUMU, metalworking fair. So it's almost one single event. Woodworking and metalworking industries coming together. It's functional. Of course, we're gonna draw our conclusions at the very end of the exhibition. One last thing. I don't know if our cameramen are able to show where we are. This is a triple booth. For the first time, Director Acimall, Xylon and Chebra Multimedia are occupying one single booth, communicating the meaning of an association that really works around its founding values. Yeah, you know, the purpose of the association is to do promotion. And how do we do promotion? In the traditional way, so functional promotion through through institutional channels, ministries and so on. Then there's machinery promotion, and then promotion that takes place through two very important tools that are now three tools. The first one is the fair, this fair, that helps our companies promoting their products. The second tool is our magazine, the newsletter. So, and the newsletter or journal is published in millions of copies, so it does reach millions of people. And then there's multimedia, which is the latest born, and the multimedia center is aimed at providing companies services for improving their promotional capability. So videos, streaming, broadcasts, interviews, everything that companies need to address markets in a modern way. So everything we can provide on multimedia platform. Thank you, Director. We touched upon all issues. We still have an additional 2 conversations at the end of the day, one tomorrow and one Friday, when we're going to be done with the digital piece of the fair, which, and the fair actually is going to go on Saturday as well. Actually, we forgot to mention it. I mean, we're back after 4 years with 4 days, no, not 5 days. But because fairs nowadays, all fairs have to be leaner in order to meet the needs of visitors and exhibitors. You live in the multimedia experience through this streamlining broadcast. Tomorrow we're going to be back at 10 a.m. Italian time. Soon you're going to have all the content going on on a loop, and together with tomorrow's agenda. And again, we're going to have simultaneous translation into English, and then there's going to be a technological path or tool that's going to take you around the fairground to talk about finishing solutions. So sanding and coating basically are going to be our topics for tomorrow. With me, Matteo Simonetta. Look, if I may add something, I just wanted to say, so we're good. You're very good doing these digital things. With digital, we can only give you an impression of what the fair is. I invite you to come and visit it physically, in presence. Please do come. You still have another 3 days to go. So all woodworking technology of today and tomorrow is here. Thank you. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Italian time. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.